Project Playtime is my favourite game on Steam so far. I've played it for almost 200 hours despite only starting in March. The game was a huge leap for Mob Entertainment, a studio which only became prevalent at the end of 2021. Project Playtime had become quiet for just over a month, and a lot of people were wondering if Mob Entertainment was prepping to release Season 2 of the Battle Pass, or if they were focusing on Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 while releasing bug fixes until they were confident enough to release Season 2 of the Battle Pass. A lot of people were very quick to hate on Project Playtime because at launch the game was very buggy. I'm not sure what a lot of people were expecting because Mob Entertainment is a relatively new studio that's only known for games in the Poppy Playtime series. It's very obvious that they were out of their depth when they were making Project Playtime, which is why, at launch, I was still incredibly impressed with the way the game looked. Obviously, for the majority of people who weren't playing the game when it first came out, all they saw was an absolute spectacle of glitches and bugs, which have all been patched week on week on week. This rhetoric of Project Playtime being an overly buggy experience, while I don't believe it to be true anymore, has haunted the game since its release and still does to this day. Which is why, when Mob Entertainment released a tweet at random one afternoon, I started to become a little bit worried. Mob Entertainment was stating that community feedback was very important for the success of Project Playtime, and they wanted to know what people liked about it and what they didn't like about it. Despite the fact that there's a feature to report bugs on the title screen of Project Playtime directly to the creators, this is the first time that Mob Entertainment has publicly come out and asked what we like and what we don't like. Now, the first thing that came to mind, for me personally, was that Mob Entertainment are going to see an overwhelmingly negative perception of the game from players, because people have been bottling up these thoughts of the game being incredibly buggy and nothing working and the toy box not loading and things like that. They've been keeping those thoughts inside for months until the creators themselves give them an outlet to just post all of the negative feedback directly to them. When I saw that Project Playtime were asking for community feedback, I thought that there was a good chance that the game could be delisted. The tweet itself links to a sort of Google form with two boxes: what do you like and what don't you like. I posted a response in this form myself. I said things that I liked were how the matchmaking was always quick for me and how the game always ran well. And things that I didn't like were things like the range on the Boxy Boo character. It is pretty difficult to use them despite being a character exclusive to the game. I thought that they would have wanted to sell them a bit more, and I know that this is a thought which shared with a lot of the player base. In the end, I felt like a lot of people had to see what I'd written in these boxes, so I decided to copy and paste what I'd written in the what I like and what I don't like boxes in the form and combine it into a review, which I then posted on Steam once my playtime had hit 100 hours. I then waited patiently for days, expecting the game to be delisted after a wave of community backlash using this form that Mob Entertainment had posted, but as it turns out, I couldn't have been any more wrong. It turns out that Mob Entertainment were using this form to prepare for the Easter event, which came out around Easter. The Easter update comprised mainly of new customization options, a new skin for Huggy Wuggy, which is very, very cool, but also very expensive for some reason. But the most important thing that they added was, rather than players needing to complete 3 challenges at a time to win, they now need to complete 5. This basically makes the game 25% harder with no increase to the time, no added perks or nothing. When I first saw the 2 new challenges, which are the crane game one and the one where you have to guide the little ball to the bottom of the pillar, my first thought was that they were way more complicated than the other 3 challenges which we'd grown so used to. They were just so much easier to do. These ones take time, which you don't often have in the matches. Despite this, I installed the update for Easter as soon as I could, and when I started playing, it turns out that the update, much like the game itself would launch, was unoptimized. Neither of the 2 new challenges that they added worked, meaning that matches were impossible to win. The game was quite literally unplayable. As well as this, the revive function used to bring characters back in once they'd been killed no longer worked. So once you were jump scared once and sent down to the sewers, you were staying there for up to 15 minutes until the match was over. While it was later rectified that you could no longer revive while running to make it a bit harder, the challenges not working had no excuse, and for 2 or 3 hours the game could not be beaten. Within a day, there was a hotfix added which basically just made the game playable. But the most important thing is that these 2 new challenges are what Mob Entertainment got from the community poll they added. Rather than a big wave of negativity like I and many others were expecting, It turns out that the community feedback was actually really constructive. While there is no update to the range on Boxy Boo or anything about Phase 2 just yet, it does seem like the game overall is a much fuller experience now. The UI during the games has also been drastically overhauled, and at first it seemed a bit hard on the eyes, but it turns out it's actually way more helpful than it was previously. At the moment there's still no news on the Season 2 of the Battle Pass, and the Easter event is running for about another week. Whether or not these 2 new challenges are the only things we got from the community post remain to be seen, as well as the extent of negative feedback that they actually got as a result of the tweet. But it does seem at least like Project Playtime has a good future, at least for a while. That's all I really needed to say. Sup?